Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die, episode 29, where we are on day 21, and going to be preparing for the Horde 21. That'll probably be next episode, like I said, but we are going to get ready nonetheless. We are going to need to do some repairs, we are going to need to do some improvements, we're going to grab some of this concrete mix, we're going to do all kinds of stuff. But it likely won't be till the morning, as it is still nighttime. We're not going out at this time of night, that's for sure. All right, so we've got I think this room probably will do with some more storage there, but not right yet. What do I want to do? Okay, I'm getting distracted. So the first thing I wanted to do is I know I'm going to use up my iron crossbow bolts before I go to steel. However, Horde Night, that is not a thing. We are going to use the steel crossbow bolts on Horde Night. The other thing I wanted to do is we're going to make a bone shiv and see what level it comes out at. 300. Wonderful, because I think you know what's coming next is we're going to make ourselves a new crossbow. Brand new, fully repaired, to glue wood. Okay. So we'll take the leather, duct tape to glue. We have the wood, we just need the forged iron. That is not a problem. Oops, wrong box. This one. There we go. And we're going to make a crossbow. There we go. Forged iron back there. And then we'll put our glue and our duct tape back. I'm kind of surprised we have as much duct tape as we have. That's actually really, really cool. We can make more glue pretty easily, especially now with the chemistry station set up. So one of the things I wanted to do is we're going to go dip into our well and get ourselves some water, actually. So let's go do that. So the joy of having 500 empty jars all stack at once is you can fill them with just one swig out of your well. Look how much water it takes. But that's not a problem because we're going to fill it all back in really easily. And again. Okay, and the game can be finicky with this. It doesn't always like giving you unlimited water, but if you stick with it, it will work. I don't know if it'll get patched in the future, but for now, it is a thing you can do. Looks like it's going to fight with me a little bit. Come on, there we go. All right, we got our water back. Eventually, we'll have the storage for all this stuff in there, but for now, murky bottled water. We're not going to need that much water. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4. I just want a stack of 90 because that's how much will fill up our output queue of our fire here. So we're going to make all 90, 8 minutes, wood for 27 minutes. That'll work. And then the rest of the murky water, we're going to send over to the chemistry station area because that's where we'll need it whenever we're doing stuff with the water. There's our crossbow. Now, for our other crossbow, we're going to look at the workbench here and see what we can get if we merge them together. Squeeze a couple extra levels out of it. I like that. I'm good with that, actually. Let's go ahead and do that. Spiked club, we're going to go ahead and scrap you. We're going to make another one. We're going to make sure to load our crossbow. Very important when you get a new crossbow. Don't take it for granted that, do not take it for granted that you're going to have your crossbow ready to shoot the moment you pull it out, especially when it's brand new, as you will not, and you will be sorely disappointed, especially if you waited until a critical moment to pull it out. It will get you every time. Nope, we're not going to do the steel then. Let's instead make the... Actually... Oh, the iron bars. They're so expensive now, these iron bars. Oh my goodness, they really are. We're not going to be able to do that yet. That is a goal, though. We're going to get there eventually. Yep, we just need more of this iron to melt here. So instead, let's do 50 forged iron. That way we've got 50 on us at all times in our forge there. Sounds like a screamer's roaming around up there, so let's go ahead and head this way. That way they're drawn over to the spike area. Our hammer, we could make a new hammer, but I think we'll just wait for this one to break first. We won't need it for too much. Our spikes, we won't need our shovel on our bar, or we shouldn't at least. All right, and then the club will go here actually. Excellent. And we can make a new hunting knife eventually, but again, I'm not so worried about that at this time. Okay, now I hear that screamer up there roaming around. Let's, do I want the storage there? Do I really need the room bigger? We're gonna need support if I make this room too much bigger. Let's go one more. Let's go one more. We need some more stone anyways. All right, she's making noise looking for me, but she hasn't made the scream yet. Nope, there she goes. Now she's summoning people. Yep, she heard me mining. I need to stop. Nope, no. That's 3 screams. That's a mini horde. Alright, where are you at? Because I want you to kind of die. There you are, just hanging out over the forge there. Yep, come on. There you go. Yep, alright. The rest of you can die on the spikes. We'll repair all that later. So what she was doing is she was zeroing in on this stuff. She was zeroing in on this forge and the chemistry station. She was just kind of standing above them. That's how they track your activity. They head for the things that are burning fuel, that are crafting items. They, the screamers, they zero in on that stuff. So what that means, basically, we will eventually at some point have to have spikes overhead this location, which that is perfectly all right with me. Eventually, it is just going to be an ocean of spikes out there. Because we are going to need a lot of help as the hordes progress. Now, with the dynamic horde difficulty, the hordes actually, every 7 days, they take into account a couple of things. They take into account how long it has been since you have died. They take into account the player level, what level you are, and they also take into account how many players are on the server at the same location at the same time. Now I'm playing single player, so I won't have to worry about multiplayer sized hordes. Those can get pretty large. But the longer I stay alive, coupled with the higher level that I get, the horde will progressively get worse and worse, which is why if you die just prior to a horde, the horde will actually be a little less. It will not be the worst of the worst that you could imagine. So you have that going for you at least. That's always a small benefit to dying. Although, you lose 10 wellness, so how much of a benefit is it really? Not a lot. That wellness makes a huge difference when you have to run and you're out in the world, especially if you go to the hub city at the center of the map. It is a huge urban area with some of the worst zombies in the game, and it can be treacherous. If you go there ill-prepared, single player, it can be treacherous. Now, multiplayer, it's not too bad. If you guys know what you're doing, you can work together, support each other, all that. I think that's good. Yes. I think that's good. And we're going to fill this place up with storage containers. It'll be great. Now, before that happens, though, let's get focused on getting ready for the horde. We've got a lot to do, and not a ton of time to do it. So we need to be quick and efficient. Get these zombie remains cleared up. Okay, then we're going to repair all of these. Fill in any of these gaps here. All right, looks like this area has been cleared up quite a bit. So we're going to take care of that. Oh, we don't have enough wood? Oh, that's right, that's right. We spent all of our wood making spikes, so. Darn it. She saw me. Okay, okay, come on. There you go. Get you another one. Come on, be done. All right, just one scream. That's not too bad. We'll let them die on the spikes over there. This one, oh, don't lose your head. It's nothing to lose your head over. It's just Horde Night, you know. Now the screamers are starting to come. They're starting to arrive more frequently because specifically I have so many things crafting. I have 2 different forges working. I have cement, the concrete mixer, the chemistry station. All of these things add to your overall activity and draw the screamers that much faster. In fact, if you get to where you start mass producing items, which you might get to in late game, it's very common to get 2 screamers at a time sometimes. Although I find in single player it's difficult to manage that many resources all at once. Not unless you have, you know, augers and chainsaws and end-level high-end type skills. Like maybe, you know, 100 mining skill and an auger, you might be able to keep mass producing cement at a good rate. Oh, that has good defense. It's better than my old one, right? It's not. Because it needs repair? No, okay. All right, so here's what we'll do. We're going to repair it. And now it's better. Look at that. Wow. So that just goes to show you how even though the levels were higher even though the levels were significantly higher on the lower level overalls, because the higher level overalls were almost halfway damaged, they didn't give as good of stats. It's the same as your tools. As good as a high level tool is when it's fully repaired or brand new, as it degrades, it loses effectiveness. And it starts to taper off quickly once you approach the halfway point and beyond of its durability. All these wonderful trees we planted here. And the Miner 69er perk helps with your wood chopping skills as well. And we want to get a bunch of wood here. So we're going to cut down a few. Yep. Let's go ahead and replant some seeds real fast. We'll just run in a straight line. And ooh, our clay pit. Look out. It's a clay pit. Don't fall. Don't roll an ankle. You don't want to have a bad ankle on Horde Night. It's never a good thing. Although realistically, it's never good to mess up your ankle in this game. Never, ever, ever. Now we're going to need some temporary scaffolding. Oh, I already had wood frames. Waste, waste. Big ol' waste. Okay, need to pay attention. So, here's the plan. We're going to repair our spikes. Yes, indeed, we are. Make good use of the ones we already have. It still costs a lot of wood, but it's instantaneous. Doesn't take a long time to repair them like it does to make them. So there's your incentive if you needed it to repair them, but you shouldn't have needed incentive to repair because you get your construction tools. Your construction tool skill up as you repair. So that's another thing that's very important to do. Use that hammer as often as you can. All right, we'll put a little bit of metal on you guys. That's fine. Now let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll layer some here. Any of these will get layers. Yep, just like that, and there. All right. This is good. We're going to have quite a few rows. We're just going to keep on going with the spikes. And just rely on these as a barrier. Now, the second thing we're going to do, because we are dealing with the day 21 horde, which is kind of a big deal, is we'll repair a couple of those like that. All right. We're going to make some cement and concrete. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, look at that. Now it's glistening because it's wet. So if you're going to do improvements like this, just like normal concrete, it's going to need to dry. So make sure you do it early enough in the day that you can afford to give it enough time to dry. All right, we can do all but the corners from the inside. So let's just worry about the corners, and then we'll do the inside when we wrap up out here. I think we're going to have plenty of spikes. I know we have enough concrete for this. This wasn't my plan with the concrete, but this Alpha 15 is proving to be a little more challenging than it was in the past. I'm usually much further ahead than I am now. However, they've slowed the pace of the game down dramatically with craft times and material requirements. Yeah, I hear you. There you go. Take a seat. Ooh, honey. I'll take that. All right. I hear you guys. But I don't really want to... I've got plenty of steel arrowheads. Actually, let's go ahead and do this. Just don't want to spend too long. Oh, shot his arm clean off. That's a strong crossbow there. Thought I heard somebody behind me. I don't want nobody to sneak up on me. Preserve our spikes as much as possible for the horde. Go ahead and get our archery up a little bit. There you go. Get some of that. Archery level 30. I love it. Got some tokens and some weights. Now at some point I think we might take all of our tokens, go try to hit a trader and get some good stuff. I don't know when that'll be, but that would be cool. I haven't done much with the traders. I'm not sure of what they have. From what I understand, they can have just about anything you could imagine. So it's probably worth a trip at some point. Ooh, no! No! Stop hurting me! Oh! It's so bad! Oh! Why? Pay attention. Poor decisions. Okay, now we got to replace those spikes to boot. Not what I wanted. We'll have to make sure we eat some good food, regain that health. All right. What do we got? We're missing 3 rows. This is where that was the spot where we left off on day 14, where we were just doing laps around the structure to triple up the spikes. Okay, so we have 3 rows of spikes now all around. We definitely don't have enough spikes to continue any more than maybe one more side. And of course, because it's a ever-expanding square, the more layers you go, you need more and more for each row as you go. So because of that, we're going to do a little trick that I do where we alternate. Yep, there we go, just like that, and do every other one. Because then they still tend to get hung up. You can see it's still not going to be enough to do more than one side. Oh, look at that. It's going to take so many spikes to continue this trend. think the best we can do is just make sure there's no breaks in the chain. There we are. That's that. Now it's still early. You know what? It is still early. Let's go ahead and make 20 more spikes, and we'll go get some more trees. Cut down. All right. Thought I saw somebody. Guess not. Okay. We'll cut these down nice and fast. And then we'll go maybe start some spikes on the workbench. See if we can't get a fourth row around the structure. That would be really great. Three rows was kind of maxed out on day 14, and these zombies are going to be tougher and more challenging. Another 2800. There he is. I see him. Don't have time to mess with you. We're on a very important mission. Day before Horde Night, you've got to be all over your priorities. Especially in single player. I say this a lot too. In multiplayer, it's very easy to divvy out responsibilities. And even though you have, more mouths to feed and more crossbows to keep full of ammo and all of that, it still ultimately ends up being easier as long as everybody pulls their weight. If everybody works pretty efficiently, you usually end up with a lot of surplus supplies. Both food, wood, ammo. You can have somebody out gathering feathers and doing scavenging runs while you have somebody in here doing the mining and then somebody else doing the construction and the gardening. Multiplayer games, you can get a lot going. But this playthrough is about single player because I know not everybody does the multiplayer thing in these games, and the joy of this game is it very much can be played single player. Okay, we'll make 30 more spikes there. Now let's go get the rest of our concrete poured so it has time to dry. Yep. So we're probably going to take pretty close to a stack. Yeah, we're getting there. We're halfway through the stack already. Might even take a little bit more, perhaps. I don't know. But it's very important. We want these walls to withstand all kinds of trauma. It's not... I don't know how bad this horde's going to be, but I don't like taking chances. Plus, as you can see, it's good for your construction tool skill. Alright, so now we'll have concrete walls going. And we can put the rest of our concrete mix back, which was 65. Not that much. So it was almost a whole stack to do that room. It's not too bad. That's kind of how I wanted it to be. So I guess I can call that a win, even though I didn't really state it beforehand. I was trying to do the math as I designed it originally so that would be the case. So I'm going to go ahead and take credit for that being a win anyways. Okay, and then over here we're going to go... Sand and clay can go back. Cloth bullet casings, lead, brass, glue. Spiked club can go here. Shovel we'll put back there. Iron. Old sham sandwiches. We don't really want any of those. But we do need to eat. Actually, we are hurting. We do need to eat. What we can do is cut this fire off because we have our 90 water now. That will help stop some of the screamers from coming. Although we have red tea. We could drink some of this yucca juice. Let's do that. That's not going to heal us, though. Could make some more cornbread. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do cornmeal, put the spikes on hold, and then go right back to it. No, we just want to do one more. We need some wood. I've learned the hard way before. You don't often want to zero out the wood that you have on hand. That can be kind of sketchy and dangerous. All right, a lot of our stuff is in the 300s now. By day 21, single player, that's not too bad. Without artificially dumping points into my toolsmithing, I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy indeed. Okay, where are we at with this? I'm almost tempted to, yeah, you know what? We're going to do that for a little bit. We're going to double up the iron. Try to fill this thing up with iron a little faster. Just so that we can, because we had to zero the other forge out, so put us a little bit behind. Doubling up the boxes like that does help you get the iron in the forge a little quicker, because while one is cooling down, it can do the next one. And it usually doesn't take but half as much clay for almost anything that you make. But in the case of these iron bars, which is really what I want, we need quite a few. 15, that would do 2 sides. No, we need more. I don't think we're going to get it in time for the horde, which is fine. We're just going to have to be on our guard for spider zombies. Be a little more diligent. All right, let's make some cornbread. 3 minutes. Okay. Not a problem. That'll be about when we hit the time to start talking about wrapping up the episode. Wow, this concrete is still wet. It's got me nervous. It's got me nervous because I poured the concrete on this wall way before I poured the concrete over here, like hours prior. Man. All right, well, we still got time in the day. I don't think it takes that long, but you never know. We're going to solidify this stuff a little bit here. Because we need the construction tools. Oh, that's a pig. But also because I don't want anything to get wrecked here by projectiles, let's just say. So a little extra hit points on the structure can't hurt. I don't know if I want to use all my iron doing that, though. Well, yeah, I feel like I should, at least on the outer ones. This isn't really how I wanted to use all this iron, though. Well, we still have quite a bit of it. Let's go ahead and just commit at this point. It's not too bad. I want this structure to be sound up here. Now, those, we're not going to worry about the garden. The odds of a projectile arcing over our head and hitting the garden, probably pretty slim. It's mostly going to be here, the corners, and there they're going to be impacted. And speaking of which, do we want to upgrade this to the stucco? I think we do. We're getting construction skill. We have a bunch of clay. There's really no reason not to. And I would absolutely hate for projectile corrosives to destroy our base. Look at that. It's a thing of beauty. Concrete's starting to dry already. It's very good indeed. So we'll just use up our hammer here as well. I'm just making all this a little more stable. Now using the clay to smooth this over to this stucco-like surface doesn't really do anything, or it doesn't. It does do stuff. It improves its strength and stability. What it doesn't require is any kind of drying, is what I was trying to get at. Not like the concrete. It doesn't need to dry. There's nothing like that. Speaking of drying, wow, that concrete really needs to hurry up. That is starting to make me nervous. I'm not even going to front like it's not. It really, really is. 50 spikes. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I want to do a whole nother row. No, you know what we need to do? Before I get distracted is cut off this furnace so that we don't attract more screamers than we need to, and we'll just take the cornbread and we'll eat it as we go. How about that? We'll eat and run. Multitasking. Oop, wrong way. Just keep going this way. Just keep eating our cornbread. We'll get fed. We'll get some hit points back. It's not good to run around with your hit points low. In old builds, you used to heal up automatically over time if your hunger was recovered beyond the 50% mark. Now you have to eat constantly. Let's go ahead and put that there. We're not going to use the club just now. And then I think we'll get rid of this shovel and grab the spikes. Okay. And we'll start making more spikes. Let's get some more trees. Okay, we'll get some more of these large ones. You can see our other tree forest over there that we planted is starting to come in nicely. All right. We're going to be looking to wrap up the episode here pretty soon. I don't want to cut it as close to the beginning of Horde Night as I did on night 14. That was like the episode started. There was literally 2 seconds before the Horde showed up. I don't want to do that, but I do want to push it a little bit past the 30-minute mark. Try to get us a little bit closer. All right, we can start making spikes. Let's make 20 more. That'll work. That should be enough. And we'll start laying down spikes. We'll see how far we get with the ones we have, and then we'll wrap up the episode before we do our preparations in the last few hours. Well, looks like we got more concrete starting to dry now. Oh, that scared me. All right. We're going to take care of this first. A lot of screamers showing up lately. Oh, no! Ooh. Those guys have a tendency to stun you, too. They are strong with a lot of hit points. 2 of them. Nope, you need to be finished off. I know your tricks. They love to get back up after you shoot them in the head. There we go. Getting that miscellaneous crafting up. That's good for your overall player level. Who are we? Okay. I was going to say, who are we hearing over here? Who's making all this racket over here? I'm going to let the bodies go ahead and decay so they take less swings of the axe. Get this screamer. All right, now, look at that concrete starting to dry. Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock. I'm going to need it to dry a little quicker. A little quicker, please, if you please. And I might actually grab the clay and do that last row to be stucco up there as well. All right, let's see how far we can go with these spikes. Try to get this 4th row up. No, that was a waste. We don't have spikes to spare. That was horrible. So simple math says if the structure is 7 by 7 and we're 7 rows out, should be pretty close to 14 per side, maybe. That's rough math. I think we're 7 rows out. No, it looks like we used more than 14. I guess I could have counted, to be fair. We'll do that on this side. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21, okay. Wow, that was pretty far off with my math. And we've only got 9 more spikes being made. And we're going to need... I put 10 down, we're going to need 11. So let's go ahead and make two more. Dos más. Okay. Get these bodies taken care of. Where's the other ones? I know you're here. There you go. Not going to pass up the bones and the meat. Not going to do it. Not at all. Okay. So it's going to take a little bit of time for these spikes to be made. While we're waiting for that, I think we're going to go downstairs, underground, or down the ladder, down the rabbit hole, not down the stairs. Down our little rabbit hole, and then we're going to grab the clay and do our stucco in the last little bit here, and then while we wait for the spikes to finish and do the last little bit of spikes, we will wrap up the episode. I'm starting to get really nervous. This concrete's not going to dry in time. Should have done it the day before. Oh, I know better than pouring concrete on Horde Night 2. I know better. And look at it. Urgh. That's so bothersome. Oh, man. And to make matters worse, I think when I started doing the rest of them inside, there's actually a block under the floor level that didn't get poured into concrete, which means that ultimately it would have ended up being more than a stack. Just all over the place. I don't know what to expect. I'm a little concerned. I guess we'll see, won't we? Okay, but that's going to be where we wrap things up. This has been 7 Days to Die, episode 29. Getting ready for Horde Night is always a little frantic. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope you had fun watching. As always, I had fun playing. So come back next time and see exactly how we handle Horde Night for Night 21. But until then, take care.